Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Highly esteemed CAT students. My name is Trish Chivarinya and I'm a bona fide CAT student. As you all know, SRSC elections are coming up this October. I've had the chance to meet some of the SRSC candidates. I've had the chance to interview them, and I have had the chance to actually hear out their praise and hear out how they are going to make our lives better and much easier at CAT. Today with me I have here Talent Sishiri. He's the aspiring presidential candidate, and I have Simbarashi Wasuchikwebe as well. He's the aspiring Secretary General. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello, Tish. Good day. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. It's actually a pleasure meeting you guys today, considering you are the prospective presidential and Secretary General candidates. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of the prospective SRC candidates. I've heard what they are promising us rather, and what they're going to offer us when they win the post actually. So today I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to need your opinions about them. Considering you are I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask you guys, and my first question I'm going to direct it to you, the prospective presidential candidate, Mr. Sishiri. As you all know, considering our economy, fees is a very sensitive issue when it comes to students. How are you, as the presidential candidate, going to tackle this issue, and how are you going to make sure that there aren't going to be any fees increments? Considering I understand that you're going to be sitting in the fees revision meeting that's to be held in January next year.
Thank you so much, Trish. It is not a lie that we have fallen into a disadvantaged generation. We are sons and daughters of peasant farmers. Our parents are civil servants. Let's not forget that. So even in general economics or in mathematics, there is a proportional or direct variation between salary and its variance. So when salary is increasing, therefore the other variance like fees can also increase. But in the next upcoming fees revision council, I'll bring salary of civil servants, either the salary of a teacher, the salary of a nurse. Then we can see if the salary or if the salaries are increasing. If the salaries are increasing, then there is much justification that fees must increase. But if the salaries are stagnant, if the salaries are not increasing, then fees must fall down. Fees must not increase. That's it. Then secondly, there is the issue of registering students. When we were in the outgoing SRC, we managed to register a number of students at zero cost, without paying even a single dollar or a single cent, through our negotiations with the registrar. And even if you look according to statistics, approximately half of the students, they pay full fees using the current fees. So if we increase fees, meaning that the number of students who are eligible to pay fees, it will fall down. So I don't think it's necessary for an aspiring candidate and even the whole of SRC to increase fees. Then high tuition fees, it automatically distorts choosing Chinua University as a university of choice, because we say technology, innovation, and wealth. But let's remember that at Chinua University, myself as a one-on student, when I wanted to choose a university of choice, I chose Chinua University of Technology because of its affordability in terms of of cost and in terms of tuition fees. Then lastly, we have to construct what we call student financial ladders. Student financial ladders, we are talking of loans, we are talking of grants, we are talking of age loans. I think as an aspiring presidential candidate, I have to fight for academic freedom and represent my constituency very well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's a very interesting opinion, Mr. Talent Sishiri. I personally, as a student from CAT, I'm convinced that our fees are not going to be implemented anyhow in this coming year. And we hope Chinua remains the university of choice.
Very true.
Okay. I'll move on to you, the aspiring Secretary General. There is one issue that also is very sensitive to students, especially those that stay off campus, the issue of transport, the buses. You know, when I was still in 121 or 12021, we used to wait for lecturers that they first bought the bus, they get dropped off, then the bus comes back to pick us. By that time it will already dark. At times you have to wait for the bus, it doesn't come. Sometimes you get left by the bus. You know, these mayhems with transport issues. How are you, as the Secretary General, going to make sure that students are not late for their lectures, or rather students don't get left by the bus? I mean, you know, everything that has to do with the transport systems. Convince me, I'm an off-campus student. I don't have on-campus, I can't get on-campus accommodation, and I have to resort to off-campus accommodation. How are you, as a Secretary General, going to convince me that still I should stay off-campus and the transport system is going to be reliable?
Okay, Trish, thank you. That's a very interesting question as far as representation of students is concerned. Firstly, allow me to speak of the perspective of the former Secretary for Transport. That's a very, very difficult post to control, especially if you're a student leader. But what we have tried to do, as far as I was the Secretary for Transport in non-residents, we have managed to lobby so that we buy a single bus each and every semester. So far what we have done, we've managed to acquire the Yutong bus, we've managed to acquire the Dragon bus.
That's very true.
And we are trying by all means to make sure that the number of buses increases each semester. Each semester, we've agreed under the transport committee level that we must purchase a bus. We must acquire a bus.
Yes.
But is this not enough? This is what we've managed to do also as the former Secretary for Transport. We've tried to introduce a flexible timetable.
Yes.
So that there's this what we call a block timetable. What are we saying by the block timetable? We are saying that all the buses have to go a single route in the morning and collect students, and then ferry them to campus. After finishing that route, those same buses go another route. Let's say Muzari, it collects students and come back and drop them at campus. But truly speaking, transport continues to be a problem at CAT.
Yes.
Also, allow me to extend some of this problem to the administration. The administration needs to regulate the number of students, the intake rather. What we are actually aiming at, we are aiming at a student to resource ratio that is very, very, very affordable, that is very rational, that is very, very easy to work with. So we are saying a number of, you've allowed an intake of say 2,000 first year students, and already we've got senior students, let's say they're about 6,000. All of them, they need to use the transport system. And we are saying, how are they going to all fit? Well, whilst the buses are very few. Also need to consider that those buses, they also experience mechanical faults. They need to be attended to. You understand where we are going? Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aspiring SG. That was a very informative opinion, and I'm sure the students have heard for themselves. I'll direct my next question to the aspiring presidential candidate.
Yes.
My next issue is on food, the canteen in particular.
Yes.
We all know there has been cholera outbreaks, you know that. At
true.
times it's not about the water, but even about the food that we eat.
Yes.
Students at times are also complaining about the food they get served in the canteen. They are complaining of poor food preparations rather by the canteen staff. How are you, as the aspiring presidential candidate, going to tackle this issue? How are you going to convince students rather to go to the canteen and not go buy food from external stores and kiosks?
It is very true that our health is of primary importance. Yes, we've had complaints from students complaining about canteen food, and this semester we have had at one point in time students complaining about rotten meals. So sometimes we end up questioning even administrators, the credentials of the canteen personnel, whether these people were employed through favoritism or through nepotism or even through nationalism or even corruption because of their relatives with highly respected positions. And we don't want to a point or when push comes to shove, whereby we are going to push the administrators to hire external canteen personnel or catering and external catering services because of what is happening on the campus. Then the other issue is the issue of equipment. We are using ancient Egypt equipment and we want modern equipment. Then the other issue is the aspiring presidential candidate. We need to bring back the EcoCash facility. We want to bring back the EcoCash facility. That's the first thing that we're going to do in the canteen when we get in power. We want to bring back the EcoCash facility. Then more so, the IT guys must make sure that the EcoCash facility and the eSADSA must be compatible. Meaning that when you want to transfer funds from your bank, from your EcoCash to the eSADSA system, it must be so easy. That's what we want to enforce. Thank you very much, madam.
Okay, thank you, aspiring presidential candidate. You have brought up a very important issue, the issue of EcoCash.
Yes.
Knowing mostly how we have encountered a cash crisis in Zimbabwe,
Very
I
true.
think this bringing back of EcoCash would be a very helpful point rather to students, to we as students,
Yes.
considering our economic crisis as you know it.
Yes.
So thank you very much for that. I'm going to quickly move on to my next question concerning the internet connectivity. You know we are living in the 21st century. This is the modern world. Internet has become rather a basic need. I'm sure you know that. Students are always complaining about this animal code trackers. It's slow, at times you can't even access it, it's not there. You know, I mean, you know these problems, you've encountered them. So, Mr. Prospective Presidential Candidate, how are you going to attend, in fact, how do you intend to attend to this animal code trackers, internet in particular?
Yeah, Chino University of Technology. And I think modern day, we are living in a modern day time. But I think the aspiring Secretary General, who was once the former Secretary for Information and Publicity, can answer this question or can tackle this question better than the aspiring presidential candidate.
Okay.
Mr. Chipegu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Allow me again to speak from the perspective of a former Secretary for Information and Publicity. I was the one who had to run around all connectivity issues, all Wi-Fi issues on campus. We have managed to increase the Wi-Fi bandwidth from 320 megabytes per second to 420 megabytes per second.
Yes.
Allow me to say this speed is not enough. The speed still runs slow because we still have got many gray areas on campus that needs to be having this Wi-Fi service. Allow me to extend my congratulatory message to the ICT department. They did a very wonderful job to increase the Wi-Fi connectivity. We are not going to stop. We are going to push for that internet service, maybe to at least 800 megabytes per second.
Yes.
This is what we intend to do as aspiring candidates. Also, on that issue, the off-campus students have been complaining largely about the YouTube ban hours. As of current, the ICT department bans YouTube. They've created ban hours from 8 o'clock in the morning up to around 1 o'clock. Then they open from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Then from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, YouTube is closed. But what does this mean to the off-campus students? The off-campus students are saying this is the time we are on campus. We also need to access this facility. We also need to be the benefiters of this here.
Yes.
But they cannot be deprived. They paid for such.
Very.
So we are going to push that there will be no more ban hours for YouTube. This is what we are trying by all means. This is what we will lobby for in the ICT committee.
Yes.
Thank you very much, aspiring Secretary General. I, for one, do know that the megabytes per second were increased. It's such a joy, in fact, to hear that they increase, considering how we are all concerned about Wi-Fi.
We tend to increase it more.
That's very true. I'm going to direct my next question to you, the aspiring presidential candidate. I talked of cholera just before. I'm back at it again. You can see that it's a very sensitive issue. Water supply has been the other issue at the university. There has been water shortages. I'm told that last semester, rather this semester, it has actually been worse than before. How are you, as the aspiring presidential candidate, going to tackle this issue, considering water supply, considering that you know the cholera outbreak? We wouldn't want the university to be hit by outbreaks such as cholera just because we do not have a reliable, water supply?
Thank you very much, Madam Trish. I am very glad that you have alluded that the situation has worsened.
Yes.
Why? Because even in geography, the time we are in the season, we are in summertime. So even the water tables, they go down. So we have bores at each and every hostel, at the end of each and every hostel, for example, Hostel V. So what we need to do, we have our bores, but those bores, they have been working for quite some time. So the pumps, they need service so that they can pump down to reach the water, since the water table is what has gone down. So we need to service our pumps. So we need to increase the number of water storages. So we need to purchase even more of those big green tanks, the Jojo tanks. We need to purchase more of Jojo tanks. Then we need to encourage our constituents, the students, to use what we call the bucket storage system. At least we need to educate our constituents to wake up when there is water, store their water in clean buckets, especially the water for drinking. Then lastly, let's not mismanage water resources since it has become a national problem at large.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zishi. Thank you for schooling me. I did not know that in summer the water table tends to be very low.
Yes.
I'm sure the students have done it for themselves, especially those that were complaining of water shortages. But I'm sure that's not an excuse for
Yes.
you to give us a reliable water supply.
That's why we want to increase the number of water storage.
And I think that's very great. My next question is directed to you, the aspiring Secretary General. It's about the issue of accommodation. Many a times you find students, especially those in 1-2, they get admitted and for on-campus accommodation. But days later you find that they are deallocated. They're told on-campus accommodation is full or something along those lines, which really causes inconveniences for students. Considering now you have to look for off-campus accommodation after you already were told that you have been admitted. How are you, as the aspiring Secretary General, going to tackle this issue, considering the past experiences of 1-2 students that have been deallocated from their halls of residence, and now they have to sort out their off-campus accommodation?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Truly speaking, the deallocation of 1-2 students happened this beginning of this semester.
Yes.
And it really happened. Many parents were so embarrassed by that, and were to attend that as the SRC. Firstly, should I say that was a purely administrative issue.
Very true.
There was lack of communication between the admissions and the Student Affairs Accommodation Office. This is what should have been done. The on-site registration team that went to different provinces of the nation, they should have carried an ICT personnel and also a representative of the Student Accommodation Office, so that each successful applicant is considered into the university.
Yes.
Then the personnel for the accommodation office grants that person a room. So and so, this is what you have successfully applied for this program. This is your room number. That was a purely administrative issue. That was a purely operational issue.
That's very
We wish to attend that on time. As the aspiring SRC, we need to constantly remind the admissions and the Student Affairs Office. We need to constantly remind them to oil their machinery regularly, because this was a purely administrative issue. You cannot say you are admitting 1,000 students, but you cannot communicate to the accommodation office. I think that I made it clear there. Secondly, I would like to say on that accommodation issue, we wish to make a giant follow-up. So what we need to do is the aspiring SRC candidature, we need to remove such a mentality from our 1-2 students. Now they've got a once beaten, twice shy mentality. They cannot apply again for the on-campus accommodation, trying to avoid such embarrassment. So Wherever there is no on-campus accommodation for returning students, they must be told on time. They must be told through the SRC, they must be told through the university website, they must be told through whatever means that this semester we are not giving accommodation to returning students. We are trying by all means to avoid the perpetuation of the same culture. Our 1-2 students were greatly embarrassed. As part of that SRC, I was disgruntled. It didn't go well with me, and we wish to make sure that we iron out such issues. Also, we managed to give a contract to a company which is about to start the groundbreaking so that we build newer hostels for both males and females.
Yes.
We wish to push forward that. It's something that we left in the pipeline. As we get back, soon as we get back into office, we are going to push forward to that.
It was in our strategic plan.
It was part of our strategic planning. Is what is the outgoing SRC.
Okay. From an aggrieved 1-2 student point of view, I have taken what you said into consideration, and hopefully I will not apply again for off-campus accommodation. But we do hope that you can take this to the administration and let them know that this really aggrieved students, and it causes so much inconvenience to the students.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simbao Wasuchipe, our aspiring Secretary General. I'm left with just a few questions, but before we close up, I have just 1 or 2 questions left for you guys. One of the 2 is directed to you, the aspiring presidential candidate. Why do you think students will vote for you for this post? Well, why do you think you suit this presidential post?
Thank you very much, Madam Trish. I have the capacity to translate vision into reality. And here are the values that I stand for: integrity, honesty, creativity, and opportunities to all. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness. More than kindness, we need love. I love Chinhoyi University of Technology. I love the students, and I have students at heart. I'm there to lobby and advocate for my fellow academics. When I first came to Chinhoyi University of Technology as a 1-1 student, like any other student, I wanted to fulfill the sense of intellectual curiosity and decided to build supportive system by joining a God-fearing union, which is ZNASP. Let me just tell you what I have done in my past term of office. As a when I was a 1-2 student, I assumed the office of sports and entertainment. Then I was voted again another tenure of office when I was a 2-1 student through voting by bona fide CAST students. And in my past terms of office, we have managed to lobby for the refurbishments of courts, and we have managed to lobby and increased the travel allowance for athletes. It was $2 breakfast, $3 lunch, $3 supper, and it's now $2 breakfast, $4 lunch, $4 supper, meaning 10. And we are still lobbying for $5 breakfast, $5 lunch, and $5 supper. Then we did not have a swimming pool. It was a fish pond. And now we have a swimming pool in place which is working at Chinhoyi University of Technology. At ZITISU level, which is Zimbabwe Tertiary Institutional Sports Union, I was elected as a student rep, and I managed to introduce swimming pool and pool, which is snooker, as demonstration games last year. And this year, in 2018, there was swimming pool and pool as sporting courts. Then teams like soccer, volleyball, they're in league and they're playing right now. And I think I've done enough in my term of office that can make me an aspiring presidential candidate. Not forgetting, through the efforts of my fellow comrades, we have managed to put the gym in place, and the gym is now functional.
Thank you very much, the aspiring president.
Yes.
I'm sure you have won the hearts of many athletes. We talked of the $5 breakfast, $5 lunch, and $5 supper.
Yes, Madam Trish.
Yes.
It's not about the presidential title as the aspiring candidate. It's not about the title. It's about change. It's about the vision. It's about reality, where we are coming from and where we are going. Remember, we cannot say we are the leaders of tomorrow, yet in actual sense we do not have the leaders of today. Democracy, liberty, opportunities to all, unyielding hope, quality education through quality assurance is my gospel. Especially for ladies, let not your hopes be silenced or be dismissed. A new dawn for CAT is coming. A new dawn for change is coming. And a new leadership. As the aspiring candidate, the presidential candidate, and the chief administrator of the SRC, the aspiring secretary general of Chino University, we are promising to work for the students. We are the servants of the students.
That's a very interesting opinion right there. I'm sure the students are ready for themselves. I'm sure they have found you ready for this post, and I'm sure they're going to vote for you as president. Just to get back to aspiring Secretary General, in just a few words, just probably 3 or 4 lines, why do you think the students should vote for you?
I've been trying and tested. The students voted for me as their representative at the School of Engineering. They voted me as their Secretary for Transport and Non-Resident. They voted for me as the Secretary for Information Technology. So, obviously, we are going to...
Tried, tested, now trusted.
Now we are trusted.
Well, I think I have nothing to add. You have said it all for yourself, and I'm sure the students are ready for themselves as well. Just a quick one for both of you. You are a former Secretary for Entertainment, and you are a former Secretary for Information. Are there any people that you have maneuvered so far? Have you maneuvered, and have you seen any prospective people that can take up your post? Anyone?
In student activism or politics, we say case there's a fact that is not reproduced.
We have reproduced. But if the students call us upon to take it, we can give it. But obviously, finally, we are going to leave this post for you blood to come.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure having you here today. Thank you very much for your answers and everything that you have given us today. We hope that when you take up your post, be it that you are born and be it that you have taken up this post, you are going to deliver whatever you have promised us.
Just a word to fellow academics.
Yes.
Remember, we come from a God-fearing union, which is ZINASU, Zimbabwe National Students Union. We are there to advocate and lobby for students. We are a God-fearing union with a studentocratic ideology. Thank you very much, Madam Tricia.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Highly esteemed CAT students, you have heard it for yourselves. You were with us from the beginning, and now we've come to the end of our interview. You have heard for yourselves. I'm sure all your issues and concerns have been addressed, and you are going to vote wisely as you can. Thank you very much. Thank you,
so much.
gentlemen.